So, Lauren W. Christensen is a retired cop and best-selling author of over 60 books. He asked men in uniform to convey their experiences with the paranormal, and he documented all these cases in one of his books, which is called Cops' True Stories of the Paranormal. And this is one of the stories that really stood out to us from the book that we'd like to share with you guys because it's really wild. It's really crazy. So let's get started. So Kerry L. Wood worked for the Roanoke Police Department in Virginia. He retired in 2002 after 27 years as a detective sergeant. In the mid-1980s, him and his partner David Ragland were working a burglary detail, patrolling in uniform in an unmarked van. It was just before twilight when they spotted a suspicious-looking vehicle moving through a neighborhood. They began to tail him, thinking that he was casing houses, but he quickly made them and took off at a high rate of speed. They called for a uniformed police car to stop him, and although he was doing 70 miles per hour, they did their best to keep him in their sights, and they followed him. It eventually became apparent that he was heading towards Schaefer's Crossing, a 100-foot-long concrete railroad tunnel. As quickly as this pursuit began, it came to an abrupt, explosive stop. Kerry L. Wood said, "We'll never know if the driver overcompensated his steering or lost control in a moment of panic, exhilaration, or any number of other causes. But for whatever reason, he navigated his 2 tons of steel, chrome, and rubber straight into the concrete archway." So David Ragland and Kerry L. Wood were about 200 feet behind the speeding car when it crashed, and they both watched in shock as the destroyed vehicle lifted 2 feet into the air. They remained in control of their van, though, and stopped behind the crash. Just as shocking was when the suspect driver, a white male, 5 foot 10 inches, and husky, about 180 pounds, squeezed out of the driver's window, seemingly unscathed, and dashed off into the tunnel. Kerry L. Wood and his partner took off after the man, and they were all running hard. They managed to close the distance and get close enough to see him clearly. That is, until he completely vanished. There were no exits in the tunnel, period. Kerry and his partner looked around, examined every inch of the passageway, but there was simply no trace of him. None. They were disconcerted, confused, and feeling every type of other emotion as they reluctantly headed back to the tunnel's entrance. As they neared the crash site, they could see their van and the totaled suspect car and the driver, the suspect. It was the same man, clothes, height, and weight that they had just been chasing, but he was now sitting in the car in the driver's seat. The steering wheel and the dashboard had crushed his chest, killing him. Shocked, they managed to call for a supervisor and a traffic unit to come to the scene. They told him what had occurred, how they had spotted the suspicious vehicle, pursued it, witnessed the crash, ran after the driver, but lost him when he merely vanished right in front of them, only to find him a few minutes later behind the wheel of his car, his life crushed out. The supervisor was an older and wiser man, especially in the ways of the department and how cops think. He told them to write their report, but leave out all references of them pursuing a dead man on foot. Kerry L. Wood and David Ragland are both retired now, and they are still friends. They have both talked about that evening occasionally, but neither of them have an opinion on what happened. Both of them have discussed it with David Ragland's minister, but no explanation has come forth from him either. So, I mean, yeah, that story's pretty crazy, and, I don't know what to think about it myself,
Yeah.
I mean, could they have been both mutually having, the same hallucination or something? Could they have both been full of, so much adrenaline chasing this dude that they thought they saw something that they didn't?
Yeah.
Or did this actually occur? Did they actually chase a ghost?
Yeah, I think really the only other plausible explanation for something like this would be that somehow there was another guy in the car and he just happened to be wearing the same clothes, same height, same hair color, and that's who they were chasing, but that doesn't really add up because they say the guy vanishes in front of their eyes. Yeah. And when they come back to the car, there he is. The suspect has been dead the whole entire time.
I mean, that is a good point. There could have been another dude in the car,
yeah,
and he got away. But, I mean, the part about him vanishing, that's just creepy. Yeah, this whole story's creepy.
Yeah, I think it makes it believable coming from, a reliable witness like 2 cops, who've been on the job for who knows how many decades, and they've seen a lot of messed up things. I don't think they have anything to really gain from making a story up like that. They probably have more to lose from making a story up like that.
Yeah, well, anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this story. Have you seen any ghosts or anything like that yourself? Let us know. If you have any supernatural or scary stories that you'd like to share with us, you can send them to our email address, nightcasters13@gmail.com.
So anyway, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.